So we're back here in the chicken area, and one thing that we noticed this morning when we came out is that the chickens are flying over into this compost area, which this fencing's kind of up. It was originally up to separate the different birds when we had babies. Now it's up to kind of hold all the stuff in the compost area if we want to throw shavings and everything else in there. But what's happening is the birds are flying over it, and some of them, like this girl, can't always figure out how to get back over when they flap their wings. And it doesn't help that it has all of this spiky stuff at the top of the fencing where I cut it, because this is actually the 6-foot fence that's cut in half. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just get my wire cutters, and we're just gonna cut this fence down. Yep. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to get the wire cutters unlocked. Oh gosh, there are a lot of gnats over here, and they're literally occasionally flying up my nose, which feels horrible. So it's been so long since this was put up, I didn't realize that it's just a couple of zip ties strapped to this post. So that makes it a lot easier to take all this off. You have to be certain that you take off the zip ties when you're done, because I don't know about other people's birds, but my chickens will grab a hold of anything and try to eat it, even plastic. They'll at least test out the waters and see what they can do.
We're gonna help you.
She's still kind of young, and we have only had her for about 6 weeks, so all of these chickens are actually really shy when it comes to all of us.
Come on. So yeah, I can get out now.
Yay!
I can just go free.
She's so excited. This will actually probably make really good trellising for some peas or something.
Yeah.
So that would probably be a good idea.
The pumpkins are going back here.
Yeah, the whole point of this little metal piece, it was just extra off of that IBC container we keep that we made into a chick brooder, but it stakes into the ground, so it kind of kept this fence up a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. How are we gonna get this part off?
It just pours all the ground.
Oh.
But all of this right here, we definitely need to
go, because we don't want to get stuck in here.
Yeah. Hey, can you hold this camera, sister? It'd probably be a lot easier. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Can you see okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate your help. It's kind of challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I'm going to come over here and clip it off.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely need to flip this over and layer some more stuff in here, because it's just kind of gross. I need to bring all those shavings over from the backyard.
Mm.
Ah, I got to stick in my hair. Okay. Gonna be my new cameraman.
Mm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's pull this fencing off. I don't want you to get stabbed by the fencing. See, we have some peas that only get about 2 feet tall, 24 inches or so. This would probably be a good trellis for that.
Yeah, really would.
Yeah, we could move it into the garden.
Yeah, it could.
Right.
We just need to zip tie it back down. And now the chickens will be able to come back here without escaping. Because they could fly over that fence too.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Alright. Yeah, this fence is about 4 feet tall. Mm-hmm. But they could, you're right, they could, if they wanted to, climb up on this post. Look at the amount of gnats here from these pumpkins. They're just everywhere. insane. That's the downside about not having ducks right now, is that ducks will actually come in here and eat all of the gnats and flies. It's so funny watching ducks chase flies. These pumpkins are pretty well rotten. This one's still pretty solid, but they've actually broken down quite a bit just in the last couple of months. Probably bring that, I don't know what to do. We'll see.
Do you think squirrels get in here something?
Oh, squirrels definitely get in here. Wild birds, all sorts of stuff. I was thinking we could pull this out, but it's pretty well in there.
Let me see. I'll try. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that might be a job for your brother-in-law. Here, let me try. It's hard transferring the camera back and forth.
Look. Got it.
There's a hole there. Try to cover the hole back up so nobody
Especially the chickens.
Yeah, get their legs stuck. They would. Anyone's gonna do it instead of those birds. Okay, so we're in here and I'm thinking we actually need to clean up quite a bit. Everything's a bit of a mess in here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do is over here move some of the planters out and everything else, move this fencing out, and I think we're gonna make use of all of that inside of the garden. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll come help. Why not be in here and not help?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I don't know where to set this piece at.
Maybe we can set it outside the door.
I'm just gonna put it over here up against this fencing.
Okay, that looks good enough. It's not perfect, but it will work.
Yeah, it's pretty much where I'm at in life right now.
True. Okay, we're gonna take that out.
Yeah, we'll get a bucket or something for all the soil. So I've been borrowing my dad's wheelbarrow for so long that I'm just used to having it, and then he came and picked it up. So I haven't actually gotten a wheelbarrow of my own, which I'm going to do because now we have some projects where we really need one.
Yeah.
And one of them is moving all of the soil. So I think what I'm going to do for now is just get a 5-gallon bucket. But I have this here, and years ago I actually planted some dark cucumbers into this bucket, and they grew up this little area.
Oh.
But it's been so long since anything's grown inside of here because birds just love to jump into these little barrels and they can just scratch around and eat whatever's in them. So, what, baby?
Maybe we can use that bucket we brought the baby chicks home in.
Yeah, but also, yeah, we could.
To pick up that soil.
Yep. Well, we could probably just use a 5-gallon bucket. And
Like one of those red
yeah, but
buckets.
that's a food bucket. We'll have to, I think there's a white one out there. So, the big thing is, these are planters, and it could actually probably be cut in half and used as 2 planters, but this is a pretty deep planter. It's one of the first planters we ever made out of 55-gallon barrel on this property. And I think that we can put this in the garden and build it up and maybe use something that runs like peas or things like that and put up a trellis in the front yard. That way we can have quite a bit of growing space because this is actually really deep. If I step inside of it, it's right below my knees. So that's quite a bit of space. And then I actually have another barrel over here on top of all of this. We need to get this fencing out of the way though, don't we?
Yeah. Hang on. You can put it outside. Okay. Yeah, because that's taking up a lot of space.
And then on top of all of that, we still have all of these sticks.
Oh, that doesn't have a hole in the bottom of that one.
No, that one's open. I mean, that one's closed in on the way.
That one looks like Charlie's old chicken.
These are all left over from the okra plants. This is all what's left of that okra, which is insane. That can be thrown over where the pumpkins were. But it's just a trip hazard in here. Keep getting hit in the face by the oak tree.
Yeah. We might have to cut some of that down.
I'll just leave it for now. So over the top of this fencing is actually an oak tree, and it's a live oak, I think, which is part of the white oak family, and they produce really great acorns, which are great for animal consumption. Humans can also eat them, but when you're eating them, they have a high level of tannin in them that can actually be toxic over time. And so what's really important is to crack the shells open, and you can either grind down the acorns in order to slowly rinse the tannin off, or you can soak them in water, and then as the water turns brown, drain it off over and over again until it's clear, and that also takes the tannin out. Historically, Indigenous Americans put acorns, they often would crack them open and then mush them up into a fine powder and put them into any kind of sack and put that into a running stream or a body of water, and as the water ran past it over several days, it would leach all the tannins out, and that would be an excellent food source. There are still so many acorns around here, and we love planting these oak trees that it would actually be a really good food source for us too. We have gathered them up, but I'm thinking we live in an area we don't have access to a body of fresh water. Everything around here is salt water, and I definitely don't want to take it out into anywhere out into the bay because it's just gross. We have all the boats and everything else running through it. So for me, I think the best option is going to be to grind it up and get some cheesecloth for like how we make jelly, and then crush them up, put them in that cheesecloth, and run water through it over time and let it sift out the tannins that way. But there are just so many. I'd really like to do something with them. And you can, I don't know if you can see, let me get closer. There are acorns even all in here. They're falling all over the yard and garden. This is just one tree, and there's still quite a few up here that have not fallen yet. And the big thing with these acorns on these types of trees is that as soon as they fall to the ground, they pretty much start sprouting.
Oh, this one's really soft.
Yeah, they're really smooth acorns. And this here actually is gall from what happens is there's a parasitic wasp that gets in here and lays. So in order to defend itself, these oak trees swell up around it to keep the parasites and infection from spreading, and that's what that is on the tree. So that's actually really cool. You see that all over the tree. But it can also in certain trees it can also be bacterial infections. So it's really cool seeing how trees protect themselves. But here are some acorns right here.
Yeah.
And the difference between white oaks and red oaks is that white oak acorns have a much lower level of tannins in them than the red oaks do. So sometimes you don't really have to worry about soaking the nuts for them not to be extremely bitter. I ate one the other day and it wasn't bitter at all, but it's still recommended that you soak them and get all the tannins off of them. They can be toxic in high levels. I think this is really awesome because it's a really good source of food for the chickens, and they just kind of fall on the ground, and the chickens can come out here and eat the acorns, which is a lot of fun. And we also have a family of squirrels in the back that come in here and eat the acorns, so there's that too. Okay, so this pipe actually has to come out of here.
Yeah, but the family of squirrels won't come out until night.
No, I see them during the day. There used to be one squirrel that would literally throw acorns at my head every time I walked by. I would get so frustrated. Like, it would throw acorns and other stuff. It would jump up and down on the tree branch screaming at me, like telling me that I was in the way.
107.
Okay. I think if we tell them in big numbers, it would be hard to keep up with. My son came out here asking for the computer code. I had to pause the video for a second and answer his questions. There's actually a lot of random stuff. There's even plastic in this container. I'm going to throw these over the fence.
Yeah, that collects this pool toy.
Yeah, so this right here is actually where, this bucket is where the passion vine was once planted, but when we got that really bad freeze a couple years back, it just completely obliterated it, which was really sad because it was doing so well, and it was one thing that the chickens could not completely destroy. So I'd really like to get more vining plants, but I don't know what we're going to do. I know the chickens are going to have to be more restricted in their roaming area for us to really consider what to plant. But I did want to plant this area out eventually after everything's broken down, but I just don't know how I'm going to accomplish that because this is definitely the chicken area. And they're just living it up over here. They have quite a bit of space. Okay. Which one? Yeah. Okay.
Charlie's old chicken had a purple band too.
Yeah. Just push the pause button.
You did.
There you go. So, my sister wanted to show you guys. Tell them what we found.
Squash.
Yeah, from the pumpkins that we've been throwing over here for the chickens. They were growing behind that bucket. And also, I think I'm going to use something because sometimes there are snakes. It freaks me out. I saw a minute ago, I don't know where they went. There were a bunch of young red wiggly worms in here, which I don't see them now.
They're probably under the dirt somewhere.
Yeah, well, they were just on top of the dirt. They dug down quick. But anyways, a lot of worm activity underneath. Oh,
there's one.
Yeah, look. Want to show that? A lot of worm activity. See this right here?
Yeah, that's so
underneath
cool.
all of this soil in these buckets, which is really nice.
It's moving.
Yeah, it is.
That's so cool. And it's now it's back under there.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yep, it is. Just let it be.
So cute.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
All sorts of really cool stuff around here. Alright, let's head. It's actually the clean out drain in the yard. Okay. There's such a huge... That's why it's important to wear closed-toe shoes when you're around animals, for sure. So, I think we need to keep this covered because that's the washout drain, but all of this is such a mess. And this used to be where all of the steel frames were. It grew a grapevine, which was actually moved to a different location. And it is just a mess. And it's right by the walkway of the cabin, so I really don't like that. And it's in the garden, but I'm thinking we can actually start some of the fencing, connect it kind of around the cabin, and have this area closed off to the animals, like the dogs. Our kids tend to walk our dogs over here because they just don't understand. And I keep trying to tell them and train them not to take the dogs into the garden area, but I think it'll just be easier if it's fenced off where the dogs can't get out. Also, the first thing the dogs do if they open the door and they want to run out the door is come to the garden. I really don't want them in this area, so I think that's best. But in order to do that, we need to clear out all of this and all of these sticks. So I think that's what we're going to spend today doing. For sure.
And I guess we're gonna video everything. Well, probably not everything, but some of it.
Well, I don't know where to set the phone that we can actually see what we're doing here. That's the downside. I've tried a few things, and it either... The issue with being in the urban setting and your garden being in the front area is that you have all the neighbors' houses. You don't want to video your neighbors' houses, their personal information. So it's really difficult to get the perfect angle up here. I really should grow more in the back or fence off this area or get some tall growth around. And during the summer, everything's kind of closed off because the trees grow so thick along the line in between the properties. But during the winter, it all dies back, all the growth, a lot of the trees are bare, and so it makes it kind of tricky to get the perfect angle. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. Hey, if you want to hold this and stand here, I'll get the trash bag and start cleaning all of this up. I've tried putting it up there, and it just doesn't show the ground well. It's like you can't win for losing with this thing. Okay, so this might be the best option that we have for now. I'm just trying to figure it out because this area is so low to the ground, and plus he's vacuuming out the car, so that's rather loud. So what I'm going to do now is just grab a trash bag and get some of the major trash out because I don't have an area to compost it in right now. And I really just need to get it out of the garden. So that's an issue in itself. Alright, sister, come on over here. We'll be careful because, we don't want to end up finding snakes, which are likely to find out here.
Yeah.
Go get that shovel from over there. Let me see this. That's fine. That would be scary if you found something you didn't want to find. Actually, this is mostly composted.
This was your compost area.
Oh. I know. Grab that 5-gallon bucket that has that ash in it real quick. So I'm going to dig all this out and throw it away because there's some cardboard looking down. I realized a lot of this is composted down. Yes, please. It's okay if it has ash in it. There's another one over there too.
It has concrete in it.
No, I think it's ash from the fire pit.
Yeah, that is actually. But it has water in it too.
That's fine. It's really. Here, hold this. I'm just gonna dump this out. A lot of this is just paper that will break down over time. But I found some plastic in here too. I think things are just kind of floating over from around here. There's a giant ant pile right where I'm trying to work.
Yeah, it looks like you stepped on it.
Yeah, we'll sure do.
Crazy when you try to work on something and it's always
I know. giant piles all over this place. Hey, open that bag. I think this piece has to go in the trash. It has some plastic connected to it all.
Sit right there.
It's definitely a messy ex-composting area.
Mm-hmm.
Some more plastic tape, it looks like. I wanna throw this in the trash.
This bag's already getting.
Yeah. I know. There's that plastic trash can by the front porch. We could empty it out. There's not much in it. And then bring it over here and
Set the garbage bag in.
yeah, that's all. I think these garbage bags are actually the right size for that.
There's a metal one right here.
Okay. So since this is the old composting area, we don't want to waste any of the compost that's actually been created here. And I have to move it out anyway, so I'm just putting in this 5-gallon barrel so that I can dump it over there in the garden bed. It makes the most sense.
I found this small, this one.
I didn't know that was out there. Yeah, that'll work.
This one does take white garbage bags, but we can't fill that. We're just gonna use it.
It's okay. The larger ones are fine. Look how much we found so far. Like compost, it was actually good in this area.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice. A whole 5-gallon bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So look at this cilantro plant. We can actually, there's actually more than one. There's like 4 of them. So why can't we pull these up and transplant them?
I'm gonna go get other shoes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, baby.
Because my feet are getting big.
Okay.
Okay. Go get other shoes. I have a pair of shoes on the porch.
Okay. So I'm cleaning out this area and there's actually a clump of cilantro. I thought it was one plant, but when I actually started looking closer, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual cilantro plants, and look at those beautiful roots. So I think these will be really good to go ahead and transplant really fast. I'm gonna set them to the side for a minute so I can dig up a little bit more, but I think actually the soil that's growing in this area could be useful to transplanting these too. It's just really funny how that works. all of these grasses that are being pulled up, I'm actually going to throw over to the birds and let them break that down some more. They love fresh grass and weeds, but there is a ton. I'm a little out of breath. There is a ton of stuff over here that did not break down. Cardboard. There's actually a plastic bag that somehow ended up into it. I don't know if that just floated over from somewhere else. There is a lot of stuff going on over here that needs to be cleaned up. I don't really want my little sister putting her hands into it because we do have snakes in this area. And it's still warm enough, they could be fairly active.
I got this one. These were my original.
Yeah, I think that's on the YouTube.
These were my original outside shoes.
Look how much better it looks already.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, sister.
Yeah?
If you want, maybe all this grass and stuff can go to the chickens.
Okay.
You know what? I don't think we locked the fence back to the chicken coop. Can you lock it?
What?
Can you lock it after you throw these? I'm gonna have to dig up this grass. Got it. Oh my gosh. That grass did not want to come out. Look at the roots on this. This is just one small section of it. It's insane.
I got to use a shovel to help since I have close feet.
Well, real quick, can you throw those grasses to the chickens and look at food, please?
I did one.
Oh, okay, cool. So at least they want to sleep, so that's good.
Just give me what you got right there.
Watch out for those ants.
I know.
Look at that. A whole nother section of grass. A lot.
I'm probably gonna have to take it in sections.
Yeah.
That didn't work. I guess I'll just throw this where the pumpkins are. Hey sister,
What?
I just threw the grass where the pumpkins are.
Oh, okay.
Because they can get in there and eat it.
I think that's a smart idea.
A baby worm or something in there.
I'm sure.
Half or a whole?
Hold.
Oh my god. What was that? And then there's the second one. Yeah, the chicken will not be able to eat it. We may take a break in the middle of this and go get something to eat or something. Nah.
Because I don't really want your hands in this. Because I don't know what's underneath all this cardboard.
Yeah, I'm just getting this stuff out. I'm just digging up the dirt.
Okay.
I'm not even hungry right now. Like after we're done
It's a
with
lot
this,
of.
like
lot.
after we're done with this video, I'll go inside and make pancakes.
Okay.
If that's what.
Well, why don't you go ahead and do it right now? That way we can, because it's getting a little bigger in the morning.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna in the bucket.
Okay.
I don't think anyone wants dirt and stuff in there.
I think you're probably right about that. So this is actually how the compost ended up looking right here. It's a really nice compost that ended up breaking down in that area before we started breaking it down. So what I'm going to do is just, and there's actually some tape on that needs to come off. I'm just going to end up dumping it in here. Corner area. There is some paper and stuff that hasn't fully broken down, but overall I think it'll be fine. And there's some random plastic. That's definitely from the cardboard. As you can see, I don't always pull every last bit of it off, because as it breaks down, the cardboard just completely falls apart, and then it's easy to pick it up. It's really hard sometimes to get it torn off of the stuff. So there's a little pile. This I think can be laid flat. Here's some more plastic. You don't want that in there. Of stuff that's broken down. And then, so this is kind of the compost that we're left with. Not too bad at all. So the goal here is definitely to get as much done as possible while we're all on holiday break. And I get tired fairly easily. So we'll see how well this goes and how long it takes to get it cleared out. Overall, I'm actually kind of impressed with how it's kind of coming along for the most part. Although I did realize the angle I'm at doesn't show where I'm working at now. So it did originally, but I'm working in a totally different zone now. So let me actually flip this around and show you. So this is where we're at. We've got compost removed from this area. You can still see some cardboard and stuff there. There's still quite a bit of compost all in here, and these grasses may have to be dug out. I don't really know yet. This is where I just dug out. That huge clump of grass was right here, and you can see it's still a mess around the blackberries. And then this is where I'm moving a lot of those masses of paper. This is where it was concentrated at, and then here are the sticks and stuff. So this looks a lot better because the cardboard was laying down and created a barrier, and the grass didn't really get through. So it's a lot easier to clean up than anything else. But there are sticks all through here, so that needs to be cleaned up. This whole pile is going to have to be cleaned up. That way we can actually use this area for growing, which will be nice. And at some point it looks like a piece of the garden bed actually broke off. Oh my gosh. You can see how they're just kind of woven in. The grasses are kind of growing around it. So that's what makes it so challenging, is how it's all kind of grown together, for sure. So I've been out here for a minute. I'm not even close to being done. If anything is true, I'm definitely getting tired. But there is a lot to pick up still, especially in this area. You have all these big sticks. So this is where I'm picking up everything. I really can't get the camera right to see it. If you hear a loud banging sound, he's actually over there beating the mats out for the car, cleaning the car, and trying to get all the dusty parts of the mats cleaned out. There's a lot of grasses in here too. You can see where the sticks, like the larger sticks, have started to kind of break down being under all this, but it's definitely quite a mess. I think I may go get the rake and see if I have more luck with raking it out, because I actually might, but I don't know. At this point I'm pretty tired. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pause this so I can kind of get some more work done without really having to worry about camera angles. And also, I need to move these sticks, and where I'm moving them to is all the way in the backyard, so it's going to be difficult to carry this and all of those all the way to the back. It just takes so much time, and I'm ready to knock this out. So that's what I'm going to do. So thank you guys for checking out our video. I know we do a lot of talking when we hang out together, more than working sometimes, but it just makes it go by so much faster.